Hi everybody, this is the second part of my journey of how I actually started into spiritualism and the real big wake up call that I've actually got back in October 1992. It might have been earlier, I just can't remember. But my back started to ache and I thought, oh, must have, strained me back or hurt me back. I've done something to it. And I went to the doctor and he just actually gave me painkillers. That was all that he gave me. And he said, no, it'll clear. Anyway, it got to the stage whereupon I was just constantly tired and I didn't want to do anything. I couldn't even get out of the bath at times. And it started to frighten me where I couldn't even get out of bed to answer my phone. And I even had to take time off of work. By that time, I was actually working for Royal Mail, and it really, really did shake me up. Um, anyway, I actually managed to walk downstairs because I lived in a top floor flat, and I actually walked downstairs to do something to pick up the post. I managed to bump down the stairs actually because by that time my legs felt like they were really, really heavy. And what happened was, the next thing I knew, that I'd actually collapsed on the floor. The door was open, and I was lucky enough to catch someone. And I said, "Can you call an ambulance for me?" When the ambulance came, they couldn't even figure out what it was, but they took me into hospital. And the first thing the doctor said to me, "Oh, it must be all in your mind. Have you been drinking?" And I very rarely drink. You never see me with a pint in my hand or whatever. I'd rather have like water or something like that. But anyway, the longest thing that I remember was actually eating a bowl of Rice Krispies, which the nurse gave me. And the consultant came along. This consultant, I don't know where he pops up from, but he was visiting a patient. And he actually said to the nurse, "Oh, what's wrong with him?" And they said, "Well, we don't know." I was put on the orthopedic ward overnight. Anyway, he came over and had a look at me, and he said, "Get him down to the medical unit straight away." And he diagnosed an illness called Guillain Barre Syndrome, which is it leaves your body absolutely paralysed. It's a disease of the nervous system, which leaves loss of sensation, weakness. Some people actually pass over, die with it. Some people are left permanently in wheelchairs. And after that, I was actually in hospital for 3 months, whereupon I couldn't feed myself. I was completely paralysed from head to foot, whereupon I had to have I had to have care in the hospital. The only thing that they actually gave me was physiotherapy. And it wasn't until 3 weeks into my hospital visit, then all of a sudden my saturations went down and I was having trouble trying to breathe, whereupon they took me into ITU. Um, I could hear things that they were actually saying, but I wasn't fully conscious. Um, I knew they were thinking about putting me on a ventilator, so to help me breathe. And it was odd because I know that my parents had been visiting me. I had people come around visit me to make sure I was okay. And it was Christmas Day that I thought, I've just seen a nun. I tripped up. What it was, I was in and out of consciousness for a very, very long time. And all of a sudden, there was a nun by the side of me. And I thought, that's it, I've died and actually gone to heaven. And the only words that this nun said to me is that your time isn't ready yet. You've got a job to do on the earth plane. And that was it. I managed to open up my eyes and she was gone. And with that, after that, I started eating gradually because I hadn't eaten for over a month and a half. I was just drinking these 40 sips provides what they were giving me. And I started gradually eating and I could gradually start moving my legs after a little while. And it wasn't until then I said to the ITU nurse when I actually was able to speak because my voice, I couldn't get anything out at all. And I said to her, well, who was the nun that came to visit me? And she actually pointed out that there was no nun, because nuns don't come to visit people in the hospital. They only come to visit their own nuns, but they wouldn't have come round and said, hello to you or anything like that. But she was with me most of the time, and no nun came and visited me. And when I did, I actually managed to, come home after 3 months, and I had to learn how to actually walk again. But that was my experience of what woke me up to life. And it was scary. And I thought, well, there is more to life than what people actually think. After going home, I started seeing more and more things. And I thought, is this a call? Or I couldn't work it out. But it's an experience that I will never forget. It's scary. I really, really did thought I'd actually gone over to the spirit world, because I'm sure this was a near-death experience, and I know that a lot of people have actually had near-death experiences. But then the journey continued, whereupon I couldn't stop seeing these people. They just kept coming in and coming in. And then I met on my journey. I was working for the hospital, but I met a lovely lady called Bethany Rose, and she said, "Well, you're a natural medium." But I will go into part 3 on that one later on. But think of this, that life treats us no matter how. We've just got to take every single day as it happens. I'm going to leave that with you, and I look forward to doing the next video. But thank you for watching. But just remember what I've said to you about anything can happen. No one knows what's going to happen. It could be anything. But thank you for listening to this video. Thank you.